Hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Come to you with another bookshelf tour. Continuing this showcase of the collection in the upper room. There's been several of you that have wanted me to get going on these shelf tours again. So I promised you several weeks back, and I did not do a very good job of fulfilling my promise. And I apologize for that, but never fear, here I am. So we are going to be on the third bookshelf, top shelf, first shelf on the third bookshelf in the upper room. And hope you enjoy this. Hope you enjoyed the last one. But anyway, let me show you what I got. So the first one on the shelf, this is actually, it's a Walt Disney book, and I'm going to butcher the title of this, so you'll have to forgive me. Gliani Reggenti di Topolino? I don't know. My wife was in Italy on a school trip, and because she was an art major and was thinking about getting into education with that, and she knew I was into history, and this one, I really have no idea what it says. I'm hoping it's not bad. I know there's some stuff dealing with World War II, obviously a flag on there that as I said, I don't know what this says. I don't know what's on it, so if it's bad, please forgive me. But I thought it was kind of cool because it's Walt Disney. It's I believe in Italian. So, but you'll notice it's all all comics, comic strips. This is, maybe someday I probably ought to check out what that says. But this is from 1969 Walt Disney books, and yeah, I better just leave it at that. So, kind of a neat little thing in the collection. Next one, Triumph of Freedom, 1775 to 1783 by John C. Miller. This is one of those books that gets talked about quite a bit in the bibliography of different historians' books. It gets referred back to quite a bit. This is from, let's see, Little Brown and Company, an Atlantic monthly press book out of Boston. And it is 1948. So book's in pretty good condition for being 1948. It's one of those I'm really excited to get to reading on. Looks like it'll probably take me a while though, because small print, lots of pages, well over 600, almost 700 pages. Nope, it is 700 pages. But anyway, I was excited to get that into the collection. So the next one on here is Pioneer History Stories, Pioneers of the Mississippi Valley. And this is an older book. I don't know if you can see that real well, but anyway, this is, as I said, an older book. It's a Macmillan Company, London, 1924. It's also printed in New York, it looks like. So, yeah, by Charles A. McMurray. Next one is Biography on Karl Marx. Karl Marx, His Life and Thought by David McClellan. This is another one out of the school library when they were cleaning books out, and I was like, yeah, I think I'll hang on to that. I don't know a ton about Marx, and so probably something I need to read up on. And it is a Harper and Row Publishers out of New York, and this book is 1973. All right, this is The Greatest Men of the Bible. And so there's no dust jacket with this one, so won't be able to show you much on the cover. This is by Clarence Edward McCartney, minister to the First Presbyterian Church of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it is from Abingdon Cokesbury Press out of New York. And, of course, the copyright has to be in Roman numerals. And as you've laughed at me before, I don't know my Roman numerals very well when you get into the big numbers, so sorry about that. Next one is Admiral Farragut, and this is a biography here. Don't have a dust jacket with this one either. It's from Captain A.T. Mahan, so Alfred Thayer Mahan, I believe, out of New York and London. Let's see here. The D. Appleton and Company, 1920. And so Mahan was pretty famous for his naval histories, and so this goes right along with the naval histories. The original copyright was 1892, but this one's from 1920, this particular version. So, all right. Next one's from one of my favorite authors. This is a really good book. This is Edmund Morgan's Benjamin Franklin, and I've read this, enjoyed it, or I thought I read it anyway. I'm pretty sure I read this one. This is from the Yale University Press out of New Haven in London, and it is a 2002 printing. No, I lied. 2003 printing, excuse me. 2003. But I love Edmund Morgan. Good stuff. All right. The next one, The 20s. Fords, Flappers, and Fanatics, edited by George E. Mowry. It's kind of got a neat cover to it. It's a little unique. Got the flappers down there, you know, everything symbolic of the 1920s. Not sure about the colors, other than it looks vintage. It's from Prentice Hall out of Eagle Cliffs, New Jersey. And it is 1963, and it looks like it's got just a whole bunch of different essays in it by different people. And so I'm not going to go through all of those, but yeah, it's a whole collection of them, whole collection of essays. All right. Next one on the shelf, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Great Lives Observed. This is edited by Gerald D. Nash. This is one of those, I think I've had it for a while. And Prentice Hall, Eagle Cliffs, New Jersey. And this is from 1967. It's a Spectrum book, it says. So, all about Franklin Roosevelt. Next one on the shelf, I have read this, With Malice Toward None, A Life of Abraham Lincoln by Stephen B. Oates. And this was a good book. Got a little sticker on his head. Yeah, I have to take that off. This was a good book. Gets mentioned a lot in the bibliographies when you read anything on Lincoln. This book is a Harper Perennial, and it is 1977. Oh, I take that back. This copy is 1994, originally 1977. So, yeah, good book on Lincoln. Next one is The Day of the Cattlemen by Ernest Staples Osgood. The Legend of the Wild West Viewed Against the Truth of History. And this is one of those books. I had a class in college with Dr. Patrick McClear. And, well, first, this is from the University of Chicago Press, Chicago and London. And it's from 1970, this copy is. But it's an older book, but this particular class, it was all about the West, and I had to read this one on the cattlemen, I had to do one on the fur trade, and I had to do one on the mining industry. And I found it very, very fascinating. This is one I need to go back and reread. That's a definite reread. All right, so this is from the American Statesman series, edited by John T. Morse Jr., and this one is a biography on Daniel Webster by Henry Cabot Lodge. Houghton Mifflin Company out of Boston and New York. Let's see here. Yeah, Henry Cabot Lodge. And this particular copy is from 1911. And I have a whole series of these up here, and I've got some that are sporadically sprinkled throughout the shelves here. But here's another one by Henry Cabot Lodge on George Washington. Same series. And this one's from 1917. It's a 2-volume series. This was kind of a bummer. It's a 2-volume series, and I have volume 2. I don't have volume 1. When the public library got rid of those, they kept volume 1 but got rid of volume 2, and I'm not real sure if I understand that and why they did that. If you're going to get rid of one, you might as well get rid of the other, but oh well. So here's another one by Henry Cabot Lodge. Same series, American Statesman series, and this is Alexander Hamilton. And this was printed, Houghton Mifflin Company again, Boston and New York. And this one was printed, let's see, 1910. 1910 is when this one came out. Now, next couple are the same series but different authors. This one is on William Seward by Thornton Kirkland Lothrop. Houghton Mifflin Company, Boston, New York. 1896 is the date on this one. So this is kind of a neat collection of books. They're older, but they get mentioned a lot in the bibliographies. Historians refer back to them quite often. This one's on Thomas Jefferson, American Statesman series again. It's by John T. Morse, Jr., Houghton Mifflin, Boston, New York, and this one was printed in 1911. So I look forward to reading all those. I think that'll be interesting and compare it to the modern day scholarship. Here is A Hero. I'll rip in the book. A Hero for Our Time, an intimate story of the Kennedy years by Ralph G. Martin. And paperback, probably seen some better days, but I think I can still get a read out of it. Fawcett Crest Books out of New York, and this is a 1983 copy. 1983. Oh, I lied to you. 1984. Wish I could get that right the first time. 1984 copy. Right. Next one is a biography on Nicholas and Alexandra by Robert K. Massey. And, of course, the Tsar, Nicholas the Tsar of Russia, back right before the Russian Revolution. And so this is a Dell book. And it is 1981, and it's a pretty good sized book. It's almost 600 pages long, so that'll be interesting. I know some of you like that Russian history. That might be one that Peg at the History Shelf might like. That's Alan Braswell. That'd be something maybe he'd like. I know both of them like the Russian stuff. Here is The Arabs by Peter Mansfield. And another paperback that's probably seen better days, but still got a few reads left. It's from Penguin Books, and 1979, and I was looking for some, just some history on the Arab people, and that's why I got that one. All right, this is The American Heritage Book of the Revolution by Bruce Lancaster and J.H. Plum. Introduction from Bruce Canton. Can't go wrong with Bruce Canton. He's he's better well known for his Civil War stuff, but I'm sure that his Revolution introduction is fine also. All right, this comes from, it's a Dell book, and it was printed in 1974. I kind of like those short histories of the wars, of the Revolution, Civil War, World War One, II. I like those shorter versions that American Heritage puts out. This is Eleanor, The Years Alone by Joseph P. Lash. Another paperback. This one's in a much better condition. This is another library copy. It's a Signet book, New American Library. And you're looking at a 1973 book, 1973. All right, here is, let's see, General Lee by Fitzhugh Lee, with an introduction by Philip Van Doren Stern, an intimate biography of the great Confederate commander. All right, I know he's pretty controversial right now, obviously. But this is supposed to be a pretty good biography. Premier Civil War Classics, Fawcett Publications out of Greenwich, Connecticut. And this is 1961. 1961. I don't have a lot on General Lee. Being a Civil War guy, you'd think I'd have a little bit more, but I really don't. I don't have a lot on him. Probably should get a little bit more, but, you know. So, anyway, this is Bring Me a Unicorn by Anne Morrow Lindbergh. So, we've got... This is a paperback that's definitely, if you can see the crack there, that's definitely seen some better days. This is a Signet, another Signet book. Oh, and this is the Diaries and Letters of Anne Morrow Lindbergh from 1922 to 1928. But this is a Signet book, and it is 1973. 1973. So, got a little bit of age to it. Last three on the shelf. This next one is Blackberry Winter, The Earlier Years, by Margaret Mead. Or My Earlier Years, excuse me. And it's a pocket books out of New York. And it's 1975. So, a bunch of these came out of the school library when they were cleaning out their mess of books, and the public library did theirs at the exact same time, and I was there to help them. They were like wayward orphans that I adopted into my collection. I was very happy to. Here is The Essential Works of Marxism. So this kind of goes with that Karl Marx book. Marx and Engels, The Communist Manifesto. It's just got a whole bunch of stuff on that kind of stuff. And with an introduction and commentaries by Arthur P. Mendel. So this is one of those cases where I don't maybe necessarily agree with everything I see there, but I want to try to understand, you know, what it is about, and so I've picked these books up. Bantam Books out of New York, and this is a 1971 copy. 1971. And the last book on this shelf is The Life and Death of Lenin by Robert Payne. And I've got another book on Stalin by Robert Payne, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you can see that, but... and I started the one on Stalin and found it very interesting. I ended up putting it down, but it was really good. This is an Avon book, and it is from 1964. But I would recommend this author. I'm pretty sure that's the book I was reading. Not to get too far off track. There was one on Stalin that he did. I was trying to see if it had it in here. But The Rise and Fall of Stalin. Yeah. And I'd started that, and it was good. So I'm guessing this is probably good, too. You know, same author. But anyway, BookTube, that's the end of this first shelf on the third bookshelf. I thank you for watching. Hope you stayed for the whole video. Sorry it took so long, but that's just the next shelf of books. Nonfiction stuff from this point on, or at least for quite a while. And I'll try to continue putting these out every once in a while. And hope you enjoyed. Happy reading. Have a great day.